Whose life are you living? Are you actually living your own life? Do you think you are? Or are you living life through the lens of other people and society? Are the choices that you make dependent on how other people will react to those choices and how they will see you? Or are the choices that you make dependent on what you want for your life and for the world and for the future? Hi guys, how you going? My name's Campbell. This is Spiral Up channel, where we talk about everyday practical things we can use to improve our daily experience. And today I wanted to talk about, whose life are you really living? Are you living your own? Because the thing in this society, this culture, the thing that happens is we are taught in school to sit up and listen to the teacher, and of course we're taught to obey authority, and that people in positions of power like government, police, all these types of people are just we need to listen to what they say, and we need to have their perspective because they know more than we do. Now the problem with this is, that would be fine in a society where the people who were the leaders in their field were actually the leaders in their field. But at the moment, we don't have that because everything has been corporatized. It's all been businessized, taken over by business, and it's all about money rather than information and knowledge and wisdom. And that's why in governments, the education minister is not someone with a degree in education. The health minister is not someone with a degree in health. They basically all have law degrees. So, who are we listening to? Who are we getting advice from? And are we living our lives based on that? Because the problem is, and I say this quite a bit, if you get all your information from one point of view, you're being programmed, you're being told something, and you're being told how to think. And that's not good, because that means someone wants you to think a certain way. And it's unfortunate, but in this world, that means, there are unscrupulous people. There are. Look around. And they will, use different sources of media to try and influence us to think the way they want us to think. And obviously we see this in advertising with buying products, but it does go a lot deeper. So at the end of the day, if we're living our lives based on all these conceptions from culture and all these things that we're being told that we need to believe, that we need to adhere to, if we're living our lives by, in that box, in that frame, then we're not living our lives. We're living a shadow of our lives. We're living a life that is designed by other people. It's not designed by ourselves. And this happens so often. Especially, when we're in school and you get into high school and everyone suddenly starts asking you, what are you going to be? What are you going to be? And, no one wants you to say, I want to travel and be happy, or, I want to paint pictures, or they all want you to tell them what job you want. And why do they want that? Because they want to know how much money and prestige and things like this you're going to make. And that's why, especially in certain cultures, certain jobs are pushed. You have to be an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer. But when you look into these professions, yeah, sure, they might get well paid, but are these really the professions that we want to be in? Is this really the information and the viewpoint that we want to be teaching ourselves? Because you look at people in these professions, and after 20 years, they're burnt out people, because to stay in these professions and to do well, you need to give up your own thoughts. You do, and this is the whole thing, and this is the choice. You can either give up your decision-making power, your ability for free will and free choice. You can give that up and chase the external, chase the money, chase the things, chase the prestige in the way that people look at you, or the way that you perceive people look at you, because you never really know. Or you can decide to be yourself and make decisions based on what feels right to you. You can gather information and get as much information, from as many perspectives as you can on subjects, and that way you can make good decisions for yourself. And that way you're living your life based on what you know and based on your perceptions, rather than living a life that is steered by culture. Basically, by culture, so many things that we're taught are just not true. They're not. And especially, on TV, we can see at the moment with the news and the MSN, we're being programmed to think a certain way. And if we don't understand that and we don't get different points of view, then we're going to be living a life based on what other people expect from us. And, there is a famous poem, I don't have it in front of me, so I can't read it, but it's by an old woman. I think she was in her 90s, and basically on her deathbed, I think it was called, if I could live my life over. And she was basically just talking about, if I could live my life over, I would. And she was saying things like, I would dance more, I would care less what other people thought, I would trust myself more, I would go on more adventures, I would paint more paintings, I'd walk in the bush more. And these are the things that are important, not money, not prestige, because, there's that saying, you can't take it with you, and you can't. You can't take anything with you from this place, but you can leave stuff behind. You can leave behind thoughts, intention, energy, to make this place better. We all have that inside us, and really I think that's why we're all here, is to put out our good intention. But because you look at a child and and a baby, they don't have malice, they only have love. They don't want to destroy things and break things. I mean, of course kids have tantrums, but of course a lot of that is taught, instilled. It's the way they're raised. It's culture, the way that children should be seen, not heard. All this, they're not children. This is a whole other subject, but children are not treated as they should be, as the gifts that they are. Unfortunately, if we understood the gift that a child is, we wouldn't be sending them to government-run schools. We wouldn't even be considering putting chemicals in their bodies, because we would understand what they are. And they are what we are, but just without all the baggage. So this is the thing, and that baggage, as it builds up again, that changes who we are, so that we start living through other people's eyes. So you're here, you're you only get to do this once, so you may as well be you. You're only going to be the person you are once in this lifetime. Sure, there's other lifetimes and everything, but you'll be someone else. So you may as well have a go, because what I always say is, if you live your life and you actually don't live your life, you live it by someone else's, and you don't learn any of your lessons, you're just going to have to come back and do it all again. That's the way it works. Until you learn that lesson, you don't get to climb the ladder to the next rung. So may as well do it now. That's what we're here for. So use your intention, use your power of choice, and make sure that you are living life through your eyes and your perspective, because it's right. It's definitely right for you, and it's needed, and it's valued, and it needs to be put into the collective consciousness, so that we can all together build a better world for everyone. All right, thank you for spending some time with me, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye for now.